What has been done here is the heavy hand of Hochul. That's the way I've described it. Taking away people's medical insurance, hurting people's families, taking away medical leave. That is the heavy hand of Hochul.
The correction officer strike may be over according to the state of New York, but now the battle's continuing in court. This was the scene in Erie County's hundreds of correction officers turned out to hear the potential consequences of their weeks-long strike.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christy Casciano.
I'm Jeff Kulikowski. The big takeaway from court proceedings today, the state says they are no longer seeking jail time for officers who were on strike, instead wanting to seek monetary compensation.
And the governor also chiming in today saying the correction officers who were fired won't be able to apply for a state job ever again.
It has been all-consuming. It has been wildly expensive for taxpayers, approaching $100 million. It created a very dangerous situation, which I called out from the second day. I said, individuals walked off their jobs and left the incarcerated population alone, left other union members from PEF and CSEA who work in healthcare and in the food support area, left them alone. Thank God we were able to get this done, and there are consequences when people break the law. And that means you're not working in our state workforce ever.
A few years before the strike, a deputy corrections superintendent saw the writing on the wall, worried about changes to the system.
News Channel 9's Jeremy Skiba tells us why he understands officers going on strike and thinks changes are still needed, even though the walkout's over.
After working 27 years in corrections, Stephen Woodward, a deputy superintendent at 5 Points Prison in Seneca County, retired the same month Governor Andrew Cuomo signed the HALT Act.
There's nothing good in that bill. The discipline of the inmates was going to go out the door.
That new law is blamed for allowing violent inmates to be put into special housing and then leave 15 days later instead of unrestricted solitary confinement.
They could come out and punch the officer right in the face, break their eye socket, get 15 days in a special housing unit or residential rehabilitation unit, come right back out and do it all over again.
What Woodward saw earlier is why thousands of officers skipped their shifts the past 3 weeks. As part of a deal to end that strike, parts of the HALT Act are paused for 90 days. Woodward believes it should be suspended forever.
They can recruit all they want, but there's nobody going to be taking this job. Even if you could have 100 officers in an academy right now to start coming in, refilling the system, it's not going to help anything.
With the strike over, the state says it's working harder than ever to recruit and keeping the National Guard in place in the meantime. In Auburn, Jeremy Skiba, News Channel 9.
So the governor announcing today 10,000 officers are back at work, and they will be supported by the National Guard. As Jeremy said, 6,000 National Guard service members.